Welcome, everyone, to the first post-game live edition of the Bullpen with Adam the Bull. Last season, I was with you after every game, but I wasn't live. This year, I'll be coming to you live a few minutes after every game. Hopefully, none of the other games, the other 16 games, I was going to say playoffs, but the way the Browns played today, I don't know about playoffs. It's one game. That's the only thing I could say to make me and you feel any better is that it was just one game. But I'll say this. This game was a fucking disgrace. An absolute shit show. And I need to curse because I'm so aggravated. The Browns were absolutely pathetic. We waited for 9 months. All the Deshaun Watson defenders told me, second half Baltimore. And it's not just him. The defense was not very good. The special teams was awful. They allowed a punt return for a touchdown. The offensive line, horrendous. The coaching, disgraceful. The running game, embarrassing. The wide receivers, a total shit show. They couldn't catch a freaking ball to save their lives. And Deshaun Watson, who's supposed to be the leader of this team, who they gave up multiple draft picks for, who they paid $200 bazillion guaranteed, has been an absolute disaster. And if it doesn't turn around soon, this will go down as one of the worst trades in the history of football. He looked like a freaking amateur out on the field. And I know the excuses are going to be out there. We're going to hear about the play calling from all the apologists. We're going to hear about the offensive line. And yes, those things were bad. But Deshaun Watson, if you look at the way he played, he was absolutely terrible. And yes, it's made even worse because freaking Baker Mayfield played a hell of a game against Washington. Now, you know me, I'm no Baker guy. And I loved when the Browns traded for Watson. I thought it was the right move. There was zero doubt in my mind. Zero. And to this point, I couldn't have been more wrong. There's a small percentage of our fan base that didn't like the move, even beyond the off-the-field stuff. They loved Baker. Okay. I don't got anything more to say about Baker. I give him his credit. He played well. He played well last year. And since the start of last year, he's been good. And Deshaun Watson's been mostly trash. But I am done with the excuses. Now, we got a whole year here. We're going to ultimately have to give it more time. What freaking choice do you have as a Browns fan? We'll give it more time. Maybe the offensive line will get better. Maybe Deshaun Watson will get better. Where is this snappy offense? Last year, all training camp, we heard offense is going to look different. And then last year, the offense was the same crapola. This year, offense is going to look different. We got Ken Dorsey on the sidelines with his glasses. I don't know what the hell he's doing. What is he doing on the sidelines? He's doing nothing. He sucks. They sucked. It was absolute trash. Again, I'm not giving up on the whole season. They're not. The Bengals lost to the Patriots. They're a freaking disgrace too. The Ravens lost their first game. Obviously, a much better team in Kansas City. But still, the Browns were beyond disgusting today. And Deshaun Watson is just not a good quarterback. He's not. Until proven otherwise, he's not a good quarterback. It's been 4 years since he's been a good quarterback. I've tried to give him some benefit of the doubt. I've made the excuse of that. I don't want to hear about not playing in the preseason. Dak Prescott didn't play in the preseason. None of the Cowboys starters did either. Zeke Elliott looked like he still had life. And Dak didn't play a great game. He was, okay. But he did what he had to do. Deshaun Watson was hideous. First of all, when the Browns acquired Deshaun Watson and watching him play in Houston, beyond the fantastic talent he showed in Houston, I always thought this guy had a high football IQ. He has no football IQ, none. He late in the second half, they're down big, they're going for it on fourth down. He takes a sack. On fourth down. How on freaking earth do you take a sack on fourth down? Throw the freaking ball up. I'm spitting all over my computer. And it wasn't like the sack was a guy from behind who just came out of nowhere. The guy, I just hurt my throat. I'm screaming too loud. I got to calm down. Hold on. The guy who sacked him on that fourth down play came from in front. How do you allow yourself to be sacked? It's fourth down. You throw the ball up. If it gets intercepted, that's actually better than a sack, most likely, unless the guy returns it for a touchdown and you're down big at that point. It doesn't matter anyway. Then the next drive, when they're trying to rally back, it's third down and 10, whatever the hell it was. And again, it wasn't a sack, but he's running with the ball, and he runs out of bounds on third. What are you doing? Have some football acumen. Have some idea what's going on in the field. And, yes, the Browns have done a bad job. I don't know why Jedrick Wills missed all the training camp. Jack Conklin's been practicing for 2 weeks. He couldn't play. I don't know what's going on with him. Every backup tackle they put in there was shit. They were terrible. DeJuan Jones gets hurt again. How many times is this guy going to get hurt? And I mean, they did nothing. They couldn't run. Even Amari Cooper dropping balls. Elijah Moore, David Njoku with drops. Jerry Jeudy. And we're celebrating touchdowns. We're celebrating incomplete passes. I got Cam Mitchell celebrating an incomplete pass when he's down by 23 points, whatever. I see right now that we've got the final score on the board here. Earlier, I'm sweating my ass off right now. It's hot. Look at the stats on the bottom of that page. Guys, we shouldn't even have the stats. I appreciate all the hard work from Max and the other guys from Bet Rivers who did a great job. We got the nice little crawl there on the bottom, and it has the stats. But we should take them all out because none of the stats are meaningful. We should just have the Cowboys stats off. Their stats are meaningful. Nothing the Browns did was good. The punter, here's the winners in the game. The punter did a nice job, even though it was a punt return for a touchdown. I don't blame him on that. The kicker made his one kick, or what was it? I don't even know. I can't even. One kick, one field goal. And by the way, the Cowboys should have tried that 71-yard field goal. I wanted to see that. He made it from 66 easy. I got Cam Mitchell celebrating down 20. I got Denzel celebrating down 20. What an embarrassment. What a disgrace. And I want to know what Kevin Stefanski, he pulls Deshaun Watson over right at the end of the game there. He's talking to him. I don't know what the hell he could be saying. I mean, look at that. There go the stats. 12 carries, 44 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 40 yards on 10 carries. I mean, it was unbelievable. The offense, across the board, nobody played well. Not a single guy played well. Maybe some of the interior offense. I don't even know. I don't even care because they all sucked. And if they don't turn this around soon, it's going to be a long freaking season. Deshaun Watson has this year to turn around. Now, the Browns are stuck with him because no other team at this point would be dumb enough to take him because he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Look at these stats. These stats, this doesn't even close to tell you the story. He was way worse than even these stats, which are horrible. 24 of 45. Who's putting up these stats? Max, you're going to make me freaking vomit on the air. This is pathetic. Pathetic. Less than 4 yards per attempt. Are you kidding me? The Browns might as well have Ken Dorsey play quarterback the way Deshaun Watson is playing. This looks like Deshaun Watson looks like every other shit quarterback that the Browns have had. That's what he looks like. He has just been terrible. I'm sick of I've been kind of trying to be nice about it when people have debated me on this. And that doesn't, of course we're all rooting for Deshaun Watson to play well. We all want him to turn it around. But you got to stop living off this overblown second half against Baltimore. And a good game against the freaking Arizona Cardinals last year, who were like one of the worst teams in football. He has been terrible as a Cleveland Brown. You could squint your eyes and give me the win-loss stat, where he's 8-5 or 8-6, whatever he is. You could squint your eyes and give me the touchdowns he's thrown and a couple of good game performances here and there. Look at that quarterback rating, 51.1. I know I'm crazy. I'm batshit crazy. But I'm telling you, I think I could have better than a 51.1 quarterback rating. All right, I can't. I'm way out of shape. But who else? I think my man Tyvis Powell can go out there and play better quarterback than Deshaun. Nah, even that's crazy. Come on. I love Tyvis. He probably thinks he can play better than Deshaun. I didn't want to look at Deshaun Watson's face. Guys, take this graphic off. Please take it off right now. I can't look at his face. Thank you. I can't look at his face. I don't want to look at him. I can't stomach him. He sucks right now. Sucks. And he better turn it around. You're playing Jacksonville. They're After that, you got 3 dog shit teams. The Giants. I mean, let's face it. Everything, New York sports is a disgrace. So you got the Giants, they suck. The Jets are highly overrated. The Yankees are overrated every year. They'll go down early in the playoffs. I do like the Knicks. They're pretty good. The Rangers, Brian Monzo, choked like the dogs they are in the playoffs. I don't know why I'm talking about New York sports. I got to get off this. The Mets, they won't do anything in the playoffs. You're playing the Giants, they're crap. You're playing the Raiders, they're crap. And you're playing Washington with a rookie quarterback. The Browns better be at least 3-2 at the end of 5. At least. And that means they got to win 3 out of 4. Jacksonville won't be easy. They better be 3-2 at the end of 5. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long season. And if Deshaun Watson cannot turn it around, again, there it is. Now, we got that wrong, guys. 922 is not the Cowboys. We got that messed up. 922 is the Raiders or whoever you didn't have up there. The Giants, I think. The schedule is pretty favorable for the next 4 weeks. And if Deshaun Watson doesn't start looking like an NFL quarterback against the Jaguars, the Giants, the Raiders, and the Commanders, forget the whole season. If he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback in the next 4 weeks, to me, I'm done. I'm done with him. Now, the Browns won't be, and he'll still have an opportunity, but the little shred of hope I have for Deshaun Watson that's left. And remember, when people were whining and crying about trading away Baker Mayfield, I was all in on Watson. It was a no-brainer at the time, and I don't blame the Browns for making the trade. It was an absolute no-brainer at the time. It is completely backfired. I was completely certain he'd be great for the Browns, and I was completely wrong because so far he's been crap. He's been absolute crap. There's the schedule. Jaguars, enough. Forget the Eagles game for now. Let's look at the next 4. Now, 3 of the 4 are on the road, but I don't care. Jaguars are mediocre. The Giants stink. Giants got boat raced by Sam Darnold. The Raiders and the Commanders. Baker Mayfield. Roast. I want to see Deshaun Watson play like that against the Commanders. Baker Mayfield roasted the Commanders. And the apologists are going to make every excuse. This coach is better. This offensive line's better. This wide receiver's better. I don't want to hear any of it. This is on Deshaun Watson. They've done everything to bend over backwards for this guy. He didn't want to play under center, so they got Ken Dorsey in here. He wanted this guy. He wanted that guy. We got his dopey quarterback coach out there telling you he's having the best year. He's in the best shape. He's throwing as hard as ever. He barely threw the ball down the field. And when he did, it was terrible. He made so many awful throws in this game. Awful. I wasn't impressed with the defense either. I didn't think they played particularly well. What's funny is in the Browns' first time, or the Cowboys get the ball, and the Browns did a nice job on defense that first drive. And then the Browns get a nice punt return by Darden. They can't move the ball, but they get a field goal to go up 3-0. And then it was pretty much, for the rest of the game, 55 minutes, whatever time it was at that point. Rest of the game completely dominated by the Dallas Cowboys. And Their fans took over the stadium. I know at the end, Browns fans had left, but I could not believe how many Cowboy fans, the worst fan base on the planet, the Dallas Cowboys, they're phony fans all over the country. They're a bunch of dippy bandwagon jumpers, and we let them take over the stadium here. That was just terrible. You go up to a Cowboy fan, ask him who Daryl Johnston was, ask him who Larry Allen was. I bet you three-quarters don't even know who the hell those guys are. They're all bandwagon phonies, and they took over the stadium. And by the end of the game, it was a Cowboys, full Cowboy crowd. And let me tell you something else. Tom Brady sucks. Tom Brady. It's funny. Tom Brady, the quarterback, we had no expectations for him. He's drafted in the 6th round. Nobody knew who the hell he was. Nobody thought he was going to be any good. And he becomes the greatest quarterback who's ever lived. Then he goes into the broadcast booth. They pay him enough money to feed every starving kid in America. And he goes into the broadcast booth. Everybody's excited. Everybody thinks he's going to be this amazing guy who gives us this insight on games that we've never heard before. And he was terrible. Terrible. And anybody that tells you any different, they're terrible. Tom Brady was awful. And I'll tell you, I find Tony Romo very annoying on broadcast. Tony Romo is 50 times better, and in his first game was 50 times better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady called that game as if he was reading off a generic cue card about football. He brought, in my opinion, no insight into the game at all. He was afraid. He seemed like he was afraid to be critical. I don't know. I don't know what the hell he was doing. So he was terrible. And they were like, could they have been more excited to have Brady in the booth? Jeez, take it down a notch, the rest of the crew there. I love Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin Burkhardt's awesome. It's hard for me to be critical because I think he's one. I loved him when he did the Mets, and I love Kevin Burkhardt. He's fantastic. But my gosh, Tom Brady was awful. I guess he'll get better. It's his first foray into broadcasting. But he's done a million commercials. He's done a lot of stuff where he's talked to the media. You'd think he wouldn't have been such a stiff ass. My God. Did anybody think Tom Brady was good? I got to go to the YouTube chat here. Respond to me on that, folks. I'll get to all the messages about the game. But tell me if you thought Tom Brady was any good. Because I thought Tom Brady was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So jumping on that, I'm curious real quick, and then I'll get to the Browns comments from all of you. Let's see. All right, not bad. What do we got? Let's see. Jimmy Mook. I like Tom Brady. I thought he'd be more douchey. Jimmy, I wanted him to be douchey. That's what I was expecting. Tom Brady's a douche. I expected him to behave that way. Where was it? There was no criticism. I am so hot. My basement's like 1,000. Usually my basement's ice cold. My basement's like 1,000 degrees right now. That's where I do my show from. Let's see. Edwards said, let's see. Malfunct Sean. Tom Brady admitted to being a rookie commentator. I know. No excuse, Tom. You suck, buddy. But he was. He was like a rookie. He went 5 for 15. He was the, what's his name? I can't even think of the name of the Panthers quarterback. My God. What the hell were the Panthers? What were the Panthers thinking? Taking Bryce Young. He's the worst. Him and Deshaun Watson. He was like Bryce Young in his first game. Edwards says Tom Brady was mid. Goats usually suck doing anything other than what they are good at, except Peyton Manning, I guess. Sprout 216, Tom Brady is definitely not Tony Romo in the booth. Let's see. George, Brady wasn't good, but taking Romo over him? I don't know about that. At least Romo set the record last year. Set the record. You could check this out. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm not lying to you. Romo set the record for the least prepared analyst in the history of sports. He did. He set that record. If you look at the Guinness Book of World Records, it will be there. But at least he has personality. At least he predicts the play. I find half of the things he does annoying, but at least it was interesting. Brady was a snooze fest. And if he doesn't get better, well, they're stuck paying him like we're stuck paying Watson. Let's see. Basketball Jones, Brady sucked, but wasn't much of a game to call. All right, true, but he sucked in the first half when it was still a game, or in the first quarter at least. Ignacio says, Tom Brady sucked. I don't know about you, but his voice was annoying, really stretchy. Yes. He sounded like Peter Brady. Like his voice was breaking up, like he hit puberty. B-Bird, yes, B-Bird. I'd like to get Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady right now would be better at quarterback for the Browns than Deshaun Watson. You're right. Jimmy Mook, Brady way better than Romo. You lost, Mook, Jimmy Mook. That's a bad job out of you. Basketball Jones replaced Brady with Giselle. 100% agree. I would have much rather had Giselle Bundchen. Did I say her name right? Bundchen? I'd much rather have her on the broadcast than Tom Brady. Okay. That's all the comments I got on Tom Brady. I'm seeing a lot of comments on the Browns. So let's get to them. Again, Browns are 0-1 to start the season. Jacksonville next week. Disgraceful performance. Watson was crapola. He's been pretty much crapola since the Browns got him. The nonsense excuse makers look ridiculous. Yeah, Collinsworth, all right, listen, I don't think Collinsworth is good either. But what are you going to do? Collinsworth's better than Brady. Stop it, J.R. Forsythe. He's not worse. Collinsworth's not worse than Tom Brady. Collinsworth's annoying. Scorpion says Brady was dry. All right. Let's get to some of the Browns comments. Chris says, bring on all the Watson Simpson excuses, Bull. This is the line. The drops in the first game. He didn't play in preseason. It's the coaching, but really it's Watson. Throws bad. He does not seem like a leader. I see no leadership from him. Yes, there's plenty. Deshaun Watson doesn't get all the blame. There's plenty of blame to go around. Everybody on offense, everybody in the coaching staff gets blame. But Deshaun Watson gets the most. No doubt. Powell says, okay, hear me out. After today, you got to start thinking life after Watson. He is not seeing the field. 3 of those sacks are on him, and he can throw it. He can't throw it downfield to save his life. I can't disagree with any of that. I don't know about 3, but when I go back and watch the game, I'll write it down. But we'll watch the game again, I should say. But yeah, some of those sacks are on him, no doubt. He held the ball too long. But Bull, the guys are not getting open. Yeah, 6 weeks ago, you told me the Browns wide receiving core was top 5 in the league. Now nobody can get open. Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper on one play is running wide open on a 4th down play that the Browns blew. Wide open. No awareness. Nothing. And yes, I think no doubt by the middle of the season, if Deshaun Watson doesn't turn it around by the middle of the season, you absolutely have to start thinking about life after him. You can't just keep running him out there because you're paying a ton of money. Too early for that. But at some point this season. Chris, for the record, Bull, this feels like the worst opening, especially at home game, in years. I'm a 50-year-old Browns fan, have so much hope, but something looked wrong. I think it's the quarterback. Now, again, the competition, Dallas is the best team you play in the first 5 weeks. Jacksonville's okay. The 3 teams you play after that are not very good. Now, 2 of the 3 are on the road. I would expect both Watson and the rest of the team to play better, but it better happen. A lot of things I've expected from Deshaun Watson that you've expected from Deshaun Watson have not happened. Let's see. Basketball Jones. Did anyone see a Tampa score? Yes, Basketball Jones. We mentioned it already. Kyle says, question for the Bull once he gets going. I'm here. In my opinion, did we learn more today about the Browns or the Cowboys? That's always a hard one to say. I think we learned more about the Browns because the biggest question mark coming into this game was Deshaun Watson. And right now, that question mark is a thumbs down. What do we learn? We're not going to learn anything new about Dak Prescott till the playoffs. Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback who has been average in the playoffs. Not terrible, but average. He needs to play better in the playoffs. I'm a big Dak Prescott fan. He got his new contract today. We weren't going to learn anything about Dak Prescott today. He didn't play a great game, but he's played plenty of great games in the regular season. So I think we learned more about the Browns, and it wasn't good. The April, it's pretty bad when even my illegal pirate feed of the Browns game gave up and switched over to Iranian soccer with 5 minutes left. Hey, that's big. Okay. I knew it wouldn't be good, but I didn't think Callahan's loss would be this bad. It's hard to say. You can't. I don't know that we can pin that directly on the loss of Callahan. There were games last year. There have been plenty of games with Callahan where the offensive line didn't play well. I don't know if I completely buy that. Powell says they have to draft a quarterback this year going to have a top 5 pick. They are not going to have a top 5 pick. As angry as I am, let's not overreact. They're not going to have a top 5 pick. At least I don't think they're going to. If they do, yes, I agree with you, Powell. If they do have a top 5 pick, that means the season was a disaster. Yes, you draft a quarterback. Anthony Russ, Halloween comes early this year. Watson comes impersonating Clayton Tune, yeah. Wasn't the Browns' defense supposed to be what Dallas was today? Yeah. Browns' defense, we expect you to play great. They didn't play great. They were, I thought, subpar. Average at best. Brian Monzo, one of the producers of this, says Daniel Jones is better than Deshaun Watson. Let's not get crazy. They're both equally trash. How long before Vrabel? I don't want to hear about firing Kevin Stefanski. Don't be ridiculous. He's won 2 of the Coach of the Years. That's overblown. He's won with bad quarterbacks. I'm done blaming Kevin Stefanski for Deshaun Watson playing like shit. Done. Not happening. Johnny said he's going to brag about being right. I said 2 years ago that Ford was trash. I remember everyone in UCSS saying they were excited to see more of Ford after his first season. I was not one of those people. Now, I said this year that I think we were too critical of Ford because he's no Nick Chubb. But I was critical of him last year, and I was not excited to see more. Anthony Russ, Kyle McCord, better than Deshaun Watson. Oh, God. R1, Browns have ruined so many people's lives. I hate them. I hate Jimmy. I hate Berry. Most of all, I hate this worthless sack of bleep at quarterback. I've been cursing the whole show. I don't know why I said bleep there, but let's see. Berry has been exposed as one of the worst GMs in the league. How is he exposed as the worst GM in the league? Come on, that's ridiculous. Some person, chill, just one game, fair. Justinian, Baker balled out. He did. Chris, time to trade for Flacco. God. Basketball Jones, give Johnny Football a call. R1, love you, Bull. Love you, R1. Chris C., worst trade in history. Thanks, Andrew Berry. It's not the worst trade in history, but if Deshaun Watson does not turn it around, it's top 5. I don't think it's not as bad as the Herschel Walker deal. It might be the second worst trade in history. Chris, highest paid quarterback in Browns history for that. It was all him sucking. Edward, the Bull can block better than those. I can't. I wish I could. Like, I should have been an NFL guard, but I'm just not good enough. April says, I'm unhinged. That was probably earlier when I was screaming and yelling. Brian Monzo says, the Rangers Knicks are awesome, you bows. Love busting your balls. Where was Miles, says Willie. I don't know. He pretty much no-showed after the first quarter. Marty, terrible job by Kevin. Team was not ready to play. Another question about Myles Garrett. Where was he? When is Andrew Berry going to stop getting a free pass? I've never given him a free pass. I said he's okay. He's done a decent job. Better than what they've had. He hasn't done a good listen, I've been critical of him. I'm not firing him. He's been, above average, I think, overall. In terms of, like, firing the coach, firing the GM, as crazy as I was, like, let's take that down a notch a little bit. All right? Chris, Watson is the problem. Willie Johnson, Allen had more sacks than Parsons, and you all think the Jags suck. I don't think the Jags suck, Willie. I said they're okay. I didn't say they suck. The other teams they're playing suck. We don't need Flacco. He stinks too. Thank you for the thumbs up, Kyle. That chanting in our house, it was terrible. Yes. Let's see. Edward, coaches are to blame too. Yeah. Deshaun Watson, by the way, he didn't want to play in the preseason. I think Kevin Stefanski wanted him to play, and I don't think Deshaun Watson wanted to play. That's what happened. Malfunction. Bull reads comments and cryptically reads answers in his rants. I don't know what you're talking about. Red Right 88. Bull, your win-loss prediction for the Browns appears to be on point after that game. I did not like the Browns. I picked the Cowboys to win the game. I went 3-4 against the spread. 3 out of 4 against the spread in the North. I had the Patriots. I didn't think they'd win. The Bengals were an embarrassment. Trust me, I'd be screaming and yelling and killing them if I were working in Cincinnati. But who the hell would want to work there? I will rant about them for a couple minutes tomorrow, but not today. Okay, now we're up to all the Tom Brady stuff. We went through this already. Sprout, the offense only worked when they were back under play action, under center. J.R. Forsythe, Kevin doesn't play. They straight up on the field play. I'm not blaming Kevin. Yes, I'll give him a tiny bit of the blame. A tiny bit. But this is on the players. The players got to play. I can't read that one. Scorpion, no, who did that one? Juggalotus, I can't read that one. That's even for me, I can't read that one. But I think it's funny. Jacoby Brissett did play better than Watson. Jacoby Brissett played a pretty good game today. I thought he played really well. Yeah, Darden was the best Browns player today, Pete Dog. Anthony says, was Zadarius Smith in uniform today? He was trying to fight with everybody on the Cowboys late in the game. He had that one sack. I know that. Kyle, I think the issues with Watson are something the Browns will be able to massage out. Oh, once they get the proper grip on the situation. Oh, man, that's not funny. I mean, it's very funny, but I shouldn't have read that. Boy. Love the show, Bull. Scorpion LLXP, thank you. What are we getting messages about? All right, Monzo. Let's take it down a notch. Hey, I wonder how the folks, I didn't listen on the radio today. I wonder how the radio broadcast went with Andrew Siciliano. Send me a couple quick messages. We'll wrap it up with that. Got injuries, too. Njoku got hurt in this one. DeJuan Jones got hurt in this one. Emerson got banged up in this one. Am I forgetting anybody else? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. Diabate got hurt in this one. Yeah, I mentioned that before, Zinter. The Greg Newsome dancing. Greg Newsome, Denzel Ward, and Cam Mitchell all dancing when they're down by 20 was a disgrace. Oh, yeah, Jerry Jeudy. That's it, Scorpion. Good job out of you. Jerry Jeudy also got banged up a little bit. Hopefully these guys come out of it all right. Hopefully Conklin can play next week, or Wills, or both. I don't understand what happened with Jed Wills. At some point I'd love to get an answer as to what happened to Jed Wills this offseason and why he's not playing. And Jack Conklin's been practicing for 2 weeks. It's strange to me that they didn't think he could go, but you got to believe that next week he'll be able to look at this. 2 of 15 on third downs. I don't even care about the fourth downs. Most of them were in garbage time. The penalties were terrible. DeJuan Jones were too early. It was just a complete disaster. So we'll leave it there. Folks, thanks for joining me. I hope my aggravation maybe helped you work through yours a little. If you missed any or part of the live show, it'll be up on YouTube. You can go back and watch it. It's a terrible start. Now, again, as angry as we all are, as bad as it seems right now, the season is not over. I expect the Browns to go to Jacksonville and win, and I know Jacksonville's a good team. But I'm leaning towards picking the Browns to win next week. We'll see about the injuries. And I think you got some wins coming up. You got to get 3 of the next 4. If they split the next 4 or worse, then it's over. Deshaun Watson, this is it, buddy. I've been crushing you. A lot of people have been hating on you. Please, I'm begging you, shut us all up. I'm sure most of us would be thrilled about that. Shut us up, you and your guy Quincy. Because I can't stand that guy. Please, shut us up. Play great and shut us up. Because the only thing that's going to turn around is playing great, because I am not listening to any excuses this season. I'm not listening about the offensive line, the receivers, the coaching, nothing. He's got to get it done. He's got to elevate the offense. The offense with him, you saw the stat. They showed you the stat in the broadcast that the Browns, under Kevin Stefanski, have scored the same amount of points per game with Deshaun Watson as they have with every other quarterback. And they've gotten less passing yards per game with Deshaun Watson. And the rest of their quarterbacks are a mediocre Baker Mayfield, who I know played better than that today, and better than that last year, and has had years where he's played better, and certainly years worse. To me, he's a mid-quarterback. And every other quarterback they've used is below average or worse. And yet those guys combined have thrown for more yards per game than Deshaun Watson. And those guys combined have roughly the same winning percentage as Deshaun Watson, and that's a bogus stat. And those guys combined have scored the same amount of points as Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, to this point, has been an unmitigated disaster, and I refuse to hear any propaganda. There is not a single argument that I can imagine. I will let, obviously, you want to make an argument, fine. I'll listen, but I can't imagine there's any argument that anyone could make that Deshaun Watson has not been an absolute disaster, that the trade to this point has been an absolute disaster. All right, folks, have a great night. Try to not let this game ruin your day. My fall ball teams both won. My 9 and 10-year-olds won. My 11 and 12-year-olds won. We're combined 13-3 heading into the playoffs, baby. 11-3 heading into the playoffs. We got a bye next week, both my teams, and I hope we're going to win a couple of championships. So be rooting for me out there. Come see us play. All right. Thanks to Z, Max, Monzo for all helping produce this live show. Next week, the Browns play the Jags. It's a 1 o'clock game. Let me tell you what's coming up this week. I got a lot of good things coming up on the podcast. I'll have a show for you Tuesday that'll be out sometime late afternoon, evening. That will not be live. Tomorrow, I'm going to tweet it out. I'm going to take. I did this once last week. Tomorrow, I'll take a question from one fan on Twitter. You'll get a mention. I'll make a short video where you'll get a mention, and I'll answer your question. Tuesday, we'll have a recorded podcast. Wednesday, I'll take another fan question. Thursday, I'll be live at 2 o'clock looking ahead to Game 2 of the season. Friday, I'll give you a video with all my picks for the week in the NFL. And then next Sunday, somewhere a little after 4 probably, I will have another live edition of the Bullpen following the Browns and the Jaguars. Hopefully, we're all in a better mood. Because if Deshaun Watson plays as shitty next Sunday as he did this Sunday, my head might pop. I'm losing it here. So thanks, everybody. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Help me out. I appreciate it. I love you all, and I love the support that I get from all of you. Again, don't let it ruin your week. It's easy for me to say. I'm miserable. You're probably going to be miserable. Make the best of it. I feel like the older I get, I can handle losses a little more. And then I just got pissed off. I was pissed off that the Bengals played like crap. I was pissed off that the Browns played like crap. I was pissed off that Baker played well. I was pissed off that the Steelers won. I was pissed off that the Guardians got shut out. I was just all kinds of pissed off today. But we'll all try to cheer up. Love you all. We'll talk to you. I'll be on UCSS every day this week as well, in addition to the podcast. We'll see you next time. Where else but right here And the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. Good night, everybody.